Hey, I'm Jesse.
And I'm Jeff.
And you're watching In Depth. If you haven't watched Tesla Time News, you might be saying, well, who is this guy? This is Jeff. This is our friend. Zach is out on vacation. After 2 years of doing the show, he's finally taken a vacation that's longer than a few days. Similar to Elon, I guess. Although Elon's been doing that for, like 16 years or something? Some crazy number. So, good to take a break every now and then. Zach's off on a road trip. Anyway, we're talking about some very, very unlikely news. Something that I read the headline and I was like, what? This can't be. They're gone. We're talking, of course, about Faraday Future. Which is apparently back from the dead. If you remember, Jia Yuting, who was the CEO of Faraday Future, seemed to have mismanaged it and run it into the ground. Yeah. But it's back now from a huge cash injection from some other people who have a lot of money. They have put some other people in charge because essentially it seemed like the Faraday Future's car, the FF91, was a pretty good electric car.
No, it looks very futuristic.
Interesting, very futuristic, very luxurious, kind of an interesting exterior. I think that it's an acquired taste. Some people love it, some people hate it, and some people don't think that it looks like a car at all. What has just happened is they've just released their first pre-production FF91. Which was assembled at its factory in Hanford, California. And there's a video that goes along with it. We're going to show you it right now. So, interesting. They've made their first car. It looks like a pretty empty facility. I mean, if we look at this picture specifically, it does not look like the Tesla Fremont factory, which is just crammed to the teeth with robots and stuff and people running around, which is to be expected. They are just beginning their pre-production of the FF91. Clearly, this is the first and only car that they built. People yell at Tesla for having hand-built cars. This is clearly a hand-built car. And again, pre-production. It's all to be expected. So the Senior VP of Manufacturing, Dag Reckhorn, which is a really cool name. It sounds like Star Wars name, said, "It is inspirational for us at Faraday Future to see all the parts come together for this significant day. The literal parts of the FF91 from our various on-time supplier partners, their processes and tooling with the Hanford facility itself, and the invaluable training for the essential soft skills required for this level of sophisticated teamwork I and others need in our Hanford production teams as we begin creation of our FF91 for demanding users. The worker training program with College of Sequoias through the California ETP grant is essential." All right, so let's break this down a little bit. So he used a very trendy word right there, soft skills required, which if you don't know is like sort of like a meta skill. It's like learning. Like that's a skill. You have to learn how to learn. That's a soft skill.
Didn't come out with many specifics on this vehicle.
No.
And how it's changed over time.
Right.
So when he ran it into the ground between then and now either.
Right. Now, obviously, the cars that we had been seeing before were prototypes. So when we saw them at car shows and stuff like that, this is the first production vehicle. So hopefully all of the nuts and bolts are all the same as the production vehicle, or at least for the most part. And we've heard that prices between $120,000 and $300,000 for this car. And these are old numbers for the FF91. So this is by no means a cheap car, since it's starting at what is essentially a fully loaded Model X price. And now they are calling it an ultra luxury intelligent EV, which makes me think that it's going to be even more money.
Well, it's intriguing they're starting with a target price that high, because they haven't proven anything. So you're betting on people similar to Tesla world, where they kind of take a leap of faith. They want to buy this car,
Right?
Not knowing the history of the company. They're just starting from the ground up and hoping it's going to be a good quality vehicle.
Right. I think that it's tough. I mean, I like all manufacturers that are producing EVs and EVs only, right? Because they have no ulterior motives. They can't be pushed or prodded by the oil industry. They want to make electric vehicles for the sake of all of their benefits, right?
But if you have a choice, so you have a choice now. Before you didn't have a choice. Tesla was it. Model S, that's
true.
A phenomenal car.
Yep.
Nothing really compares to that.
Right.
Now, this car is going to have to do something different than the Tesla, because you have the whole infrastructure. You have a proven company that's phenomenal and support that's there. And what are these guys going to offer you at $120,000?
Yeah, that's a hard question to ask. And, especially with like the Model 3. I mean, I know
true.
that I keep going back to, but the Model 3 is sort of my argument for everything. But truly, if you can get a Model 3, even let's say,
like $45,000?
Yeah, even if we're talking the $45,000, long range battery premium interior, I could buy a fleet of them for the price of one of these FF91 cars. Now, that's not to say that there aren't rich people in the world who are going to buy these cars, right? And I hope that they're making a huge profit margin, and I hope that with that money, they're able to fund and work on cheaper, more affordable, more available
the same formula
cars.
that Tesla has used.
Yeah, I think that that's a smart, follow in Tesla's footsteps. They've lost like 6 months, a year's worth of time, right? Because for a while, it seemed like they were gone. It seemed like they were dead. And they haven't been pushing. Their innovation has not continued. It's not like they're coming up with the FF92, which is troubling because, Tesla, obviously they came out with the Model S, and then there was quite a ways before the Model X. So, maybe, again, we're drawing parallels between two different companies.
Yeah.
And I think that there's different levels of talent at those companies. Because are you going to want to work for FF91, where they haven't paid contractors before and stuff like that? Or do you want to work for Tesla?
Yeah.
Where
proven track record.
they're the breaking, bleeding edge. Obviously, working for Tesla is quite a commitment, but, which place you're going to want to work if you want to work at a EV startup. So anyway, those are my thoughts. I'm excited to see that it's not dead because, obviously a lot of money went into building the first prototypes and building that company. And having it dead on arrival, having it die is not helpful for EVs or anybody. And it's another thing for fudders to point at and say, oh, look at that. Ha, ha, ha. FF91, it's going to be just like that. You're not going to have that anymore because they're going to hopefully pull themselves up by their bootstraps and be successful. Hopefully, knock on wood. We'll see. Good luck. Thank you so much for watching this episode of In Depth. We hope you enjoyed it. I want to give a special thank you to my friend Jeff, who came from very far away this morning just so we could get this show out to you on time. Because again, Zach is off just taking his sweet old time, supercharging.
Yeah, well, we're sweating here in the studio.
Yeah,
Thanks.
absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. Hit that like and subscribe button. They're two separate buttons. You have to press both of them if you want.
Pressing everything.
Yeah, but if you're already subscribed, don't hit the subscribe button. It unsubscribes you. There's also a bell button which you can hit if you want to see all of our videos. But a lot of people don't like the vegan cooking show, so maybe don't hit that if you don't like vegan cooking.
I love that show.
Thank you so much for watching.
Now you know.